A very good evening to each and every one of you, wherever you're joining us from tonight, folks. Welcome in the ring. Good to have each and every one of you here. Good to have each and every one of you. Share the live here and smash that emoji button. How you folks are doing? Do let us know how you folks are going tonight. Welcome to our broadcast. Good to have all of you here. Pull it back. Pace and power, folks. Share the live for us. Smash that emoji button as well, wherever you're joining us from. We're broadcasting live from the national capital city, and we're grateful to each and every one of you, wherever you're joining us from. We are happy to have you all here. We're sharing the live as well, just to be certain, and we're going to smash that emoji button ourselves. But as I said, good to have all of you here. How you all doing, folks? It's Monday. It's Monday. How are you folks doing? Folks, I was in the ground over the weekend. I was a place on the East Coast. On the East Coast, wasn't even far. Just so happened to skip up the East Coast, called EP Enterprises. Enterprise, but this is a very, very back. A new housing scheme they're developing there. And folks, the woes were plenty and the woes were enough. How did you spend your weekend? How did you folks spend your weekend? Take a look at some of what I saw when we ventured down there at EP, folks. EP Enterprise, some of the housing concerns people have. Water, light, road, missing in action. Take a look, take a listen as we begin.
House stock distribution has been one of the government's flagship programs, but according to some of the beneficiaries, the program is meaningless. One location that highlights the issue is EP Enterprise, East Coast Demerara.
To come in. The issue we're having at the back here is that there's no sort of infrastructure. There's no water. There's no electricity. As you see from coming in, the roads are very bad. And when it rains, it's even worse.
The woman said that she approached Guyana Power and Light to inquire about the electricity. She was told that there are no poles in the area.
You have to be on a waiting list and they won't be able to say when they'll start. So as it is, we don't know when we'll be given electricity at the back here. Same thing for water. I would have applied for my water the same time I was allocated this land. And we're still on the waiting list. And they haven't started running water or anything as yet. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of persons aren't coming in. Because if you don't have rain, you have to buy water.
The cost is exorbitant, as much as $15,000 per container. And the water isn't potable. The woman said that the land cost $500,000. Burglary is rampant.
Even in the day, the house just behind me, her house was broken into during the day when we were all at work and so on. Mm-hmm. In the day, they carried away her television, everything, daytime.
This is a very dangerous scheme, one of the most dangerous schemes ever found. Just across this Beirut. Mm-hmm. Right? These people that come into this area, they really know much about this area. It's one of the most dangerous areas to be. See, at nights, it's cow-teething, this, that. As I said just now, it's over 1 year right there in this place.
People who bought generators had them stolen when they were work outside the area. The police have been unable to make requests.
Look at flat house in front of you, they carry everything from the open up, day clean. Mm-hmm. So we're dealing with them is single parents.
And that was just one incident of burglary. This woman's a teacher who returned home shortly after 3 in the afternoon.
When I came back, I saw the windows open. Just the one window, it was open. I did not left it like that. So I go into the yard and I call my son. I said, Ezra, you open the window? He said, no, mommy. When I went in, the first thing I saw was gone was the bag of groceries that I brought in the day before, which was the Monday. Mm-hmm. That was gone. The gas bottle was gone. I had a big speaker box behind the door, this front door here. That was gone.
Garbage disposal is another concern. Member of Parliament Sherrod Duncan was in the community.
As we're seeing, this is an emerging dump site on this side. On the other side, there's also garbage being thrown here. And what our sister is telling us is that you got other people.
Whereby it's other people that coming from way out from the other steam and dump the garbage.
Yeah, welcome back. But you can't tell the government they haven't given out all of these bloated numbers in land that they will tell you they have given out, and they pat themselves on the shoulder and they say, well done. They say, well done. If you're living in a housing scheme like that, I want to come and see. I want to come and hear from you. I want to see for myself. Boots on the ground. That's how we do it. Enterprise over the weekend. And look, families, the average family struggles for land in this country. Long, very long wait. And then the cost of it. And then when you pay that cost, our sister says 500,000. Low income might be 300,000 something. And then you have all of those associated costs because those lots are on service. You're getting light, you're getting water, you're getting this. That runs up that cost sky high. That is how people keep struggling all the time to make ends meet. And them boys think it's joke. The powers that be think it's a joke. You see? And look, friends, ringsiders, this is part of what we're tracking. And it's very, very meticulous work, right? The servicing of these lots should be done before these lots are allocated. You got good roads, you got running water, you got lights, you got security. That is a big, big thing. But that is not what we are seeing on the ground. You see, once they have given you a piece of land, as one man said, you're on your own after that. Once they sell you that piece of land, Chisel Chipper, you're on your own. Thank you for that contribution, Chisel Chipper. So this is part of the methodical work that has to be done. We don't believe in that. We believe in all of those things that I've outlined to you there being in place, and then you allocate the land. And then we had another concept of housing solutions. You put house on the land as well. And then beyond that, you had the rent-to-own scheme that we proposed during the last election and that we will continue to propose. Also, hope we got some young people watching us. We see our young people, all our people, not just our young people, should have a free house lot. We got enough land in this country. Enough land in this country. Every man, woman, and child should have a free house lot. Yeah. And these properties, these land, these pieces of real estate should be serviced. Lot ready, That's how it should be. Now, you got more digging that we're doing. Because just land allocation is not housing development. Land allocation by itself is not just housing development. You will hear, I want you all to watch that whole engagement with yours truly as the shadow for housing and the people there at LP, that area, LP Enterprise. It's on my Facebook page. You can watch it. You can watch it on demand. It's on my Facebook. It's on my Facebook profile. Type in my name, find my Facebook profile. You can watch the whole engagement with EP Enterprise there, and share it too. Once they're selling the land, they finish. And one of the things you'll hear the residents say, the residents talk about how many people have not occupied those lands for all of those reasons. Younger water, younger light, you don't have proper roads, you don't have proper security. We can smash that emoji button and we can play around tonight. We can share the live or we can shilly-shally and dilly-dally, or we can get to it. That is the trouble that we have. So this is the meticulous work that we have to do. Now, we want to map this in another way. Occupancy. How many persons have occupied those lands? Right? Then we can see what's the real housing picture locally. How many persons are engaged in the bank? Plan to engage the bank but haven't. How many persons are in the process? How many persons have been denied? a loan at the bank. All of that. When you got all answers for all of that, then you'll have a true picture what the real housing story is in this country. So it's a lot of meticulous work that we are going to be putting into this, because when you give people a piece of land, you see, they mustn't have to wonder and worry. And then you got to work the next 30 years trying to figure out how you can put down a little 2x4 on this thing. And it was really, for me personally, it was really heart-wrenching to hear some of these complaints the people have. But I want you to understand that that policy that we put forward is still a very valid policy. Right? That rent to own, you don't got to struggle. You get a piece of, we give you land, we give you a proper house on that land. And then you just work, and what you would be paying in rent, at the end of a period, you own that. You own that. And the very basic we're starting with is a piece of land of your own, free of cost, with all of the amenities in there, water, light, everything that is not in EP Enterprise. So we wanted to start you guys there. I wanted to start you there this evening. And while we are very, very serious about these issues and about the plight of Guyanese, some people taking this thing light, you know. You know, some people taking this thing very, very, we're very, very serious about these issues. Very, very serious, tremendously, bigly serious. Other people taking the thing and making a joke. You know, like over the weekend, you know, over the weekend, we saw some commentary on cash grants, right? We saw some commentary on cash grants, and, you know, for us, cash grants is no laughing matter. But we can get to that in due course. We will get to that in due course. Folks, I want to welcome all of you to our broadcast. We started there, in case you joined us late, at EP Enterprise on the East Coast, where we were talking about some housing challenges that people have. And as I said, when you go on my profile and you check the whole engagement we had with EP Enterprise and some of the residents there, right? That is those challenges that they have are conservative, because we know the housing challenges in this country is dire, and you're going to see us do more like that. We just take up mic or camera, we're just going to talk to people. We're not trying to put any frills or make it sensational. I'm not concerned who is PPP, who is WIN, who is happening, or what is your story? Talk to us. Talk to us. And while you guys are at it, smash that emoji button for us. Share the live for us. Good to have Lester, and I see Glycis and Jamal and all the folks are here. Mandy, good to see you. You see, I'll tie me up here. Savage and Rosetta, Claudia, Joyce, good to see you. And all the other folks joining us tonight. We got over 2,000 of you on the live, and we encourage you. Let others get this valid and credible information as well. Share the broadcast. Smash that emoji button for us, and we're going to keep on keeping on, folks. We are on the ground, listening to our people and bringing these stories back to you. This is what's happening here as a snapshot of what's happening in the wider country. But take a look at some of the other things we're seeing. We're being told that Guyana has kept its airspace open, even and in spite of what is happening in Venezuela. Hey, the U.S. president said over the weekend, consider the airspace over Venezuela closed. That's a lot of power. That is a lot of power. But we're being told that Colonel Egbert Field, who is the civil aviation, who head of the Civil Aviation Authority locally, he said that Guyana has maintained open skies, and its domestic and international flights continue as per normal. And this is despite the rising U.S.-Venezuela tensions. So we're following this. He explained that while the U.S. authorities urge airlines to avoid Venezuelan airspace, Guyanese flights are simply routed through Trinidad and Colombia without disruption, ensuring that service to remote interior locations and international routes stay intact. So we're not affected by that. We're not affected like that, and I'm happy that people are keeping on. We're talking about housing. The guy said they've given us well, this is another story. Coast Guard intercepts migrant vessel, and we're told that a number of persons were intercepted in a wooden vessel on the Pomeroon River quite recently. This wooden vessel is carrying more than a dozen undocumented Venezuelan migrants. Well, they come and get an ID card and all that now because it's the way things go. The whole system is lax and slack and all that, and we'll be able to tell you about some intervention that we are making to regularize and to get this thing in a proper working order. Coast Guard ranks, we're told, escorted that wooden vessel to the Essequibo coast, where police processed the migrants and transported them to immigration authorities in Anna Regina. The operation underscores Ghana's heightened patrols and increased border migration. Note, there's nowhere in there that says they were sent back. So look forward to some showing up to a community near you. Wenda, Rosetta, Eva, Kurt, how a song? Am making sense? I'm making sense? How a song? You all know how we say it. How a song? Some of the things we find. This is a matter that needs a lot of structuring. A lot of structuring. And I remember just a few short months ago, they wanted to tell us. When our lived experience has been different, we got 25 Venezuelans in Region 4. Probably working for one of the ministers. 25 working for one of the ministers. That is not what we see on a daily basis. And we love our Venezuelan brothers and sisters. We understand what's happening with our Western neighbors. We understand that. Right? And while we welcome people who are facing hardships for whatever reason, as we were welcomed in times past elsewhere, we want it to be done properly and in order. And we want to make sure the vagabonds, the scoundrels, the bandits, and the thieves are not mixing the set and are sent here. So we need to be safeguarded, especially with what happened at the mobile gas station on Regent and King Street just a few short weeks ago. Right? If we understand that, we're going to act quite differently. Quite differently. As we're talking about homes, we saw a couple of homes given out in the Hinterland, and we're grateful to the extent that the Hinterland has been one of the underserved areas of this administration. And so we're happy to see our Indigenous brothers and sisters getting their own homes, and we want to see more of this. But the only caution that we have here is that when you see this happening, there's always more behind the headline. And we are going to be looking into it, folks. And of course, we know how fast you all are. We're going to be bringing all of it to you because, as I said, for the 12 who got, maybe 1,200 who's still waiting. And we want to get a true picture of what is happening in housing in this country. And as I said, this is not to bash or to denigrate or to pull along. But if we don't know what the problem is, how are we going to solve it? How are we going to solve it? Please and thank you. Make it make sense. We want to see more of our citizens across the regions, come into home ownership. So it's a beautiful thing. You got your own 2x4, roof over your head, the elements off your back. And that's our prayer for Guyanese across the political divide in this country. Ring the bell one time for all of those who in the process of building and moving into your own home. Yep. The Xmas. How are you treating you all, folks? Any back pain coming? I mean, back pay. The cash grant. How is it looking? How is the cash grant looking? Over the weekend, we saw the head of state, Irfan Ali, was at a very important confabulation of the private sector. But the notion of a cash grant seems somehow to be taken very, very flippantly and very, very much as a joke. It is not. It is not. For thousands of people in this country who don't know where the next meal coming from, how the light bill going to pay this month, or who paying the rent, a cash grant is welcome relief. Very, very welcome relief. At least we don't think this is any joking matter at all. at all. Listen to some of what President Irfan said over the weekend. Take a look.
I was speaking to a very good friend out of Guyana, and I told him I have to end the conversation because I'm going to speak at this dinner with a lot of fancy people in the oil and gas sector. And he said to me, when you get there, before you say anything, say production, and the room will light up. I said, you definitely don't know the people of Guyana. I may need to say cash grant. I didn't know I was that correct. It's amazing. I did not realize I can be that correct.
Yeah. It's not a joke for the rest of us. It's very serious business. A lot of people in this country are not affected by this huge windfall of oil that we have, and soon gas as well. A lot of people in this country are not affected by all the mineral wealth that we have as a country. Sabbath News just today, in its weekly article, how the cost of living affecting people, they spoke with residents from Zeeburg on the west side. And this is not Timbuktu. This is around the corner. How y'all doing? How the cost of living affecting y'all? Rajkumari, Kalawan told Sabbath News the cost of living high. You gotta try with it. Pumpkin dear now. A piece was $200. Now it's $400 to $500 for a piece of pumpkin. You think a cash grant wouldn't be very welcome there? Rashpati Rampasad from Zeeburg. So before rice was $2,000, now rice is $3,300. How Rashpati making that shortfall? Rashpati says it affect me. It affect me bad because it's only me and one of my sons working. And then there's resignation. In almost all of the comments to Starbucks News, there's resignation. You just got to cope with the cost of living. Because Rashpati see them boys and doing nothing. Azwin Akbar said the cost of living affect me real bad. The money not do. Things pricey. And you need them anyway. So you have to buy. Right? They put your back against a wall, Azwin. And let me give you one more. Sabbath News today, asking people in Zeeburg on the west side how the cost of living affecting them. Lelauti Kunti says, I don't get anything left back to save. Lelauti. A medium oil was $2,400 and now it's $2,800. $2,800. Lelauti says, milk and greens gone up. How are things by you? How are things at your end? And so, I know you folks are readers. You would have heard and seen in the mid-year report. This is the financial report for the country. The mid-year financial report. They said that inflation was moderate. It means your spending power is even better, right? When the coalition left office in 2020, the inflation was 0.9. Thank you, Finance Minister Winston Jordan. 0.9. It means that the money in your pocket could have done more. In 2025, the government wants to tell us the inflation is 3%. 3%. But if you just take a snapshot of Starbucks News this morning and some of the price differences, you'll see inflation is between 30 to 50%. This is the lived reality of Azwin, Lelauti, right? Kevin, Rohini, Rajpati, Ramkumari, Sophia. This is the lived reality. This isn't, ain't got no spin here. Ain't got no spin. Them boys got the spin on the other side. How things by y'all? How they cost? How they cost to live in by y'all? Van, Mandy Lester, and how things by you, Deborah Clark? Homie, how about you? How things? How the cost of living affecting you? Things tight in this country. Things tight in this country. And that is why a caring government, a government that is in touch with the people, that got a pulse on the rhythm of this country, they would not be making jokes. They would not be making jokes. But I understand the people never like cash grants. There's an idea they borrowed from APNU, borrowed from WPA. They never like cash grants. But see now everybody comfortable. Because friends get what belong for them. Family and favorites, everybody get what belongs for them. You honestly Jack don't even host regular press conferences anymore. Everybody comfortable and nice. Comfortable and nice. They ain't got no reason to fight, no reason to push anymore. And that is why you're seeing people making laugh of a poor people in this country, like you and me. Right? For those of you who are now joining us, to give context, here's Irfan Ali over the weekend.
I was speaking to a very good friend out of Guyana, and I told him I have to end the conversation because I'm going to speak at this dinner with a lot of fancy people in the oil and gas sector. And he said to me, when you get there, before you say anything, say production, and the room will light up. I said, you definitely don't know the people of Guyana. I may need to say cash grant. I didn't know I was that correct. It's amazing. I did not realize I can be that correct.
Moving on. I said the wrong thing. Moving on. At that same event, President Irfan Ali, he said production is up. What production? Oil production is up. Where the oil money going then? We're producing 930,000 barrels per day. Per day. We're going to hit 1 million barrels quite soon. Friends, family, where is this money going? Where is this money going? Where's the money going? Is your life better since 2020? Is your life improved over the last 6 years? The mid-year financial report. Look at the figures in it. This is produced by the PPP. This is produced by the Ministry of Finance, Dr. Ashley Singh. Right. This is produced by the government. It's not the Nation Watch. It's not the Key. Whatever other political magazines and newspapers you might have in this country. And when you look and see how much money we have spent from January to now, budget-wise, it's as though we're spending $3 billion a day. $3 billion a day. Here if we're spending that, why is Rohini not feeling it? And Ganga still suffering? Lalauti punishing. Why is that? $3 billion a day. And then when you look at how much we've taken out of the Natural Resource Fund, it's as though we're taking out $1 billion per day from the Natural Resource Fund. What are we doing with that kind of wealth in this country? Leslin Asquith. Leslin said gas is for $900. I saw somebody this morning saying they're buying gas at $5,100. Maxine, Cheryl, Kian, Shoan, where the money going? So the production barrels per day has moved from 650,000 to 930,000 barrels per day, Alanatang. per day. Alana, how has your life improved? Iban, Rondell, Kim, Linda, how has your life improved? Has it? Has it? And well done, improve. You're worried with glitz and glamour and the flash of cameras. You're worried with people hugging half-naked children, right? And not see beyond that. The greatest of all times. Forbes says it's not what is on the line. You got to know how to read what is between the lines. Who can share the life tonight? Who can be bold and brave and courageous and saying, care them by I share the life? Because others got to get valid and credible information. I with y'all. Over 2,500 of you, over 2,600 of you on the live tonight. Push it up for us. Push it up. But Pierre, wash your hand now like Pontius Pilate. Wash your hand of what's happening in Linden with the chairmanship. Remember? The REO says the local government minister got to break the tie. He called the vote one time. And then he said, minister, it's a tie. You know, 5 for Mark, 5 for Dominic. He says a tie. Minister, rock and come in. I think the minister was traveling at the time. Out of the jurisdiction at the time. Memory serves me correct. Like the speaker, out of the jurisdiction. No, Prison, no. I am. They got rules and laws to follow, you see. Pray, wash your hand. Send it back to thing. You know? What? I see this movie before. You see the testing the waters. So let percolate a little bit and then they see different ones, you know, legal opinions and so on and so on. And say, pull back, pull back, pull back. I see this movie before. Pull back, pull back. Please wash your hand of the matter. She doesn't want to soil the cover girl. Parents, you see. You know, anything untoward. At least not on the surface, you see. See you, Priya. We see you. We see you. So that's where it's at. That's where it's at the moment. Right? That's where it's at. So the minister's confirmed that she cannot break the 9-9. 9 for you, 9 for me. The 9-9 tie in Region 10's chairmanship vote. Right? Mind you, this is lingering since September. Right? Win candidate, Mark Goring, Apnews candidate, Dominic Blair. Deadlock 9-9. Who can share the life tonight? Let me help break this tie. You know? We should have found a way forward weeks ago. And let the governance of this region go forward. Let it go forward. Right? Let it go forward. We know now that the amendments to the law of 2017 removed the minister having a casting vote. In such a scenario, Malik Chan, for her part, said that the regional clerk, this is the REO who operates as the clerk in this situation here, must convene the council and repeat the voting until a result emerges or a chair is selected by lot. You got to heads or tails. Yeah. So that's what we wait. How long? 2 months to hear? Come on. This can't be good governance. This can't be good governance. I beg to disagree. Can't be good. Who? Good who? To the contrary. To the contrary. Y'all know that. We see you, Priya. We see you. My God. My God. Ghana has become like the wild, wild west. The wild, wild west. Y'all taking note what's happening in this country? Yeah, it's like a slow decline. Slow decline. Many years ago, I read this, they call it an unauthorized biography of Nancy Reagan. She spoke about her husband, former US President Ronald Reagan, and she's about his health challenges, and she said it was like the long goodbye. You know, it's a long goodbye, this kind of slope we on going down. When a policeman believes that he can act with such impunity, he must believe he has immunity. What is it his thinking? That he think he could brandish a high-powered weapon and operate a certain way? Folks, this is Port Kaituma. And Port Kaituma is developing a kind of reputation, you see. Region 1 in general, Mabruma, Port Kaituma, Moruca. Take a look at some what went on over the weekend. Port Kaituma, the Wild Wild West.
You come. Just gonna shoot your spunk like you want to shoot your wife? You can get fucking police force! Hey, don't try to fucking with me. I shoot your spunk. I'll wait for you. Leave our pass. You alone, my boy. Come up here, man. Hey, come up here. Come up here. Hey, come up here.
What's going on? Hey, shot man! Humble! Hey!
Run! Your manager can't think of anybody going there. Hey, going there, you can't try your fucking side. Fucking me, boy! Are you fucking? Hey! Low. I get it on video. Police and black coffee, no money that pay for. When I pray this one, get your fucking right tomorrow, boy. Actually, I don't let me fucking way. Jamal, don't do trouble. Don't do trouble in his body. Don't do trouble. Wait, buddy, wait, Jamal, wait, buddy. Why does he fuck my eye? I can't tolerate them.
I only minister responsible. I only police commissioner responsible for this decadence and decay that we see that's occurring in the Ghana police force. You see? This force needs strong leadership, like this country. But we understand how policemen are quietly compromised. Right? Does the name C-Not Shaw mean anything to you? Under US sanction right now, where is he stationed? Region 1. Is he on administrative leave? He's receiving pay every single day, every single month. We know what's going on in Region 1. But the Commissioner of Police, does he have the fortitude to do something about it? I want to give the new minister, Onish Walton, a fair chance. But Onish got to pick up the pace a little bit. Onish fighting with Tint. Come to that in a second. Another story. So we're being told rather that this policeman in Region 1, Port Kaituma, he's placed under close arrest. Very soon is the whole force under close arrest, Very soon is this whole the whole force. We know you got some professional guys in there, guys and gals in there, you know, doing the thing the right way. Then you got these folks who believe that because they do the bidding for different ones, they can carry on anyhow, you know. And so he could be brandishing an AK-47. There's a high-powered rifle, apparently intoxicated, allegedly intoxicated, we're being told, right? Firing shots in the air, threatening to shoot, operating with such impunity. We're told that the police force's Office of Professional Responsibility is investigating, and they are pledging to uphold professionalism and accountability. All right. Let's see where this one goes. Let us see where this one goes. I'd like to see the minister, the new minister, Her Excellency Onage Waldron, take matters like this in hand firmly. Firmly. But you know what has been occupying the minister's attention? Tint. 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 Who get 5% tint? Who get 35% tint? 65% tint? Tint. When the police force slipping. Slip in. Tint. Tint. Roll out a new tint policy over the weekend. Listen to some of what the minister said.
I've observed an exponential increase in requests for tint waivers. At the same time, I've received numerous complaints regarding unscrupulous practices and individuals who have sought to abuse the existing system. It has become evident that the current mechanism is burdensome, inconsistent, and vulnerable to manipulation. Having conducted a comprehensive evaluation of the system and following consultations with the Guyana Police Force and other technical experts, I wish to announce the following measures which take immediate effect. There will be the introduction of 3 clearly defined tint waiver categories based on assessed risk profiles.
Yeah. And if they catch any slips, they're gone, you $75,000. $75,000. They're just making up these things on the spot like that. Mind you, the guiding legislation has no tint percentage, right? But this policy is announced, and then the government says, then the minister says, we're going to amend the legislation later on. You understand where the police force is at? Because we're reversing into the future. We're not facing it frontally. We are reversing into the future. So as against doing the broad consultation, bringing this thing before the National Assembly, you see, and getting the best possible law, the minister wakes up one day, she starts talking about tint and police officers using tint and lay down a policy for police officers. 2 days, 3 days later, national policy on tint. Just as sudden. Other things that should have our attention. It doesn't seem to have our attention with this kind of focus at all. Man get a snake bite. Takes him about 4 to 5 days to be brought from the interior. Right? Cariaco, Region 1, bitten by a labaria. He had to wait 3 days for transportation. The fastest growing economy on earth. Fastest growing economy. We're spending $3 billion a day. We're drawing $1 billion a day. It takes us 3 days. For healthcare, right? We call that transformational. Transformational. That's what we call it. I see wind. wind is wailing into the Speaker of the National Assembly. I saw the Cyber News today has a very strong editorial about the conduct of the Speaker of the National Assembly, not convening a meeting to elect the leader of the opposition. And as I said right here before, I saw the very end of that editorial in Cyber News. They said, by the way, what we got a deputy speaker for? What we have a deputy speaker for? So if the leader of the opposition is overseas, and one of his jaunts, as per usual, he's the most traveled speaker in the history of speakers. In the history of speakers. Right? He's overseas. So what did we elect a deputy leader of the National Assembly for? Carnage on our roads continue. I'm going fast and furious now. Fast and furious. A driver died, they said. An early morning, Good Hope crash. This was yesterday. 44-year-old Julius Hanif of Edinburgh, in the east bank of Babis, lost control of a Toyota Fielder wagon he was driving at Good Hope Public Road and slammed into a concrete utility pole. We told he was taken to the Myconi Cottage Hospital, where he succumbed. Folks, slow down. Slow down. Please and thank you. And let me arrive alive. Let me arrive alive. You know, while this was happening over the weekend, also over the weekend, we saw in by the East the Penitence police station, a police officer got into an accident. A police officer. Take a look. Yeah, that was over the weekend. A police officer riding an ATV came into contact with that truck. When that story first broke, it was a different picture that was painted. A different picture was painted by the Ghana Police Force. And then the CCTV camera footage came out. As per the usual, as per normal. You saw what you saw there. Right? Slow down. And let me arrive alive. Slow down. Let me arrive alive. What's happening at GECOM? Let's end on this high note. What's happening at GECOM? Saw the leader of the PNCR say that the chairman of GECOM acting illegally. She's not allowing meetings to happen and critical decisions to be made at GECOM because she apparently is judge, jury, and executioner and taking some unilateral decisions that she should not be taking. Should not be taken. Take a look. Take a listen.
Chairman of a Partnership for National Unity, Aubrey Norton, has said the chairman of the Ghana Elections Commission is acting outside the law. He was responding to a question at Friday's press conference.
She should have known that there's a system put in place over the years in which the election commissioners were appointed permanent. In fact, it was described at the inception of the discussion as a situation where you needed a permanent commission.
Commission Chairperson Justice Claudette Singh has declined to convene a meeting in the commission. She's reported as saying that the new opposition leader should be allowed to select his members of the commission.
But the chairman of the election commission doesn't have the authority to make that change. You know, it's amazing. Let's assume that with the coming of a new opposition leader, changes should be made. Let's make that assumption. Then it should follow logically that not only the commissioner should go, but the chairman. Because if our argument is that the incoming opposition has to be given the opportunity to name the commissioners. Then it follows ipso facto that she should go and the incoming opposition leader should be able to name a new elections commission chairman.
Norton said the chairperson is uncomfortable with Vincent Alexander, a commissioner appointed by the then opposition.
But I think she should also recognize that in the present construct, even if they are chosen by a new opposition leader, the new opposition leader has to consult the entire opposition, of which we are critical, and it doesn't follow that all of the commissioners will go, because we will seek to select who we consider to be the most efficient and effective to represent the smaller party at this stage.
All right, and there is where we're going to leave it tonight, good folks. There is where we leave it tonight. We want to thank you for joining us. By the thousands, 3,000 out of you who are joining us, share the light before you go, just in case you haven't as yet. Smash that emoji button also, so that others get valid, credible information. You know, the stuff you hear here, the truth, you won't hear it elsewhere. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're going to see you guys on the next broadcast. Take care. That's our time, folks, and that's our program. Stay safe. Stay safe.